Hello and welcome to another Hamblin Vision guided meditation. My name's Mike Jenkins, and in this meditation we're going to be looking at the movements of the mind, specifically watching the movements of the mind. Now that can mean different things to different people, but in this context we're going to look at that as experiences in the body. So that includes any experience of thought. So we'll take a few moments to get comfortable, switch off any distractions. When we practice in meditation like this, it's helpful for us to create an environment that's conducive to our practice. And then the theory goes that with enough practice, it becomes second nature for us to embrace a wider perspective in the ordinary hustle and bustle of our lives when there are interruptions, telephone calls, emails, messages, notifications, doorbells. It goes on and on, doesn't it? And it's very easy for us to become swept up in that vortex of chaotic, flowing information. But if we take a moment to just ground ourselves and turn our attention to the immediate experience in our body. Keep your head where your feet are. And just relax any tension you may be holding on to. Allow the chair or the seat or the sofa or the bed or the ground to hold you up. And just let yourself breathe comfortably and naturally. And just for these first few moments of the meditation, we will simply observe sensations in the body. Turn your attention to the feeling of the chair, to any sensations of hot or cold. And without trying to label them too much, simply watch them, simply observe. If there is any tension in the body, simply observe that too. Notice any silence. Notice that sometimes it's as if the silence is observing the sounds. The silence is separate from the sounds. And yet present alongside them. And now we'll simply turn our attention to whatever thoughts may be appearing in the screen of your mind, in your mind's eye, or in your awareness. Simply witness the thoughts that may be moving. They may be mundane, thoughts of feeling bored, or concerns about what's going to happen later in the day or after this. And if you have any clear thoughts that you can identify, notice the relationship between those thoughts and how you feel. So if you are having a thought about something that creates anxiety, for example, perhaps a meeting that is coming up, or some kind of concern about money or finances, any concerns or thoughts about things that have happened in the recent or distant past that are painful memories. Whatever arises in the mind, notice the effect it has in the body, how it makes you feel physically. And similarly with good feeling thoughts. You may like to try an experiment in choosing a thought that you know will feel good to you. Perhaps imagining a time in the recent past or the distant past when you felt happy and safe, relaxed, or excited and joyful, creative, energized. You may recall a time when you felt hope and belief in yourself, hope and belief and trust in mankind. And as you explore these different thoughts, continue to pay attention to the reflection that those thoughts create in the body, in how you feel. And simply observe and recognize how the movement of thought enters the body. And as we continue to sit in presence, as we continue to remain watching from our awareness, watching from this background open space, like a screen, like a movie screen that is holding and playing all of the film of our thoughts or imaginations or memories in the foreground. The empty screen of our awareness remains clear, open, receptive, in a state of readiness, completely intimate with the images and sounds playing in the foreground, and yet at the same time unaffected, unmarked and undamaged by whatever drama is unfolding on the screen, in the movie. So you may find that metaphor is helpful in distinguishing between the movement of thought, which is much like the playing out of a movie or a film, colours, sounds, plot, drama, tension, characters. All of those elements in a film or a movie are similar to the way thought sometimes works. And much like in the experience of going to the movies or the experience of watching a compelling program or film on television, we can be swept along into the drama of those stories, basically. And we've all probably experienced watching a horror movie or a frightening, tense thriller, and how that affects how we feel. It affects our body. We experience it in a physical way. The same with music. And there can be a momentum and a remnant of those stories, the movements within them, the shapes, the feeling, the colour. There can be a remnant of that continues after the film has finished. In the cinema or the movie theatre, when the film has ended and the projector has been switched off, the empty screen is still there, blank, empty, open, receptive, in a state of readiness for the next movie. And when we sit and practice in this way, in presence, in meditation, we're becoming more familiar with our own awareness, our own screen of awareness. That allows and facilitates life to play out its dramas. And so in practice like this, we can become more aware of how certain thoughts make us feel, whether or not they are helpful, whether they are serving us or others. And so we can then be in a position of more conscious choice. And at the same time, we become more familiar with pure awareness. With the stillness and the open spaciousness of your conscious being. The aspect of you and me and everyone that is unharmed and ultimately undisturbed by any movement of thought. And that open, clear screen of awareness can contemplate itself. It can contemplate its freedom, its emptiness, its open, accepting, receptive nature. The screen of our own awareness, our own conscious being, is able to contemplate its own characteristics, the potential that it holds, and the freedom available right here and now. And at any time we choose to practice in this way, we can come to trust more and more the wisdom that can flow from this perspective. When we step back from the movements of thought, we step back from identifying with the drama that plays upon the screen, and see clearly, without judgment, but with clear observation, from the screen of our own awareness.